Test, 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 test. And it looks like we are back yet again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Collegiate broadcasting crew here, live from El Dorado, Kansas, home of the Wildcats, as the Spartan boys are getting ready to face on these Wildcats in the roundhouse. Well, the other roundhouse we've been to in our journey as broadcasters. First it was the roundhouse at McPherson, now it's the roundhouse of El Dorado, and the Spartans are looking to rebound off of that huge, frankly quite hard to watch loss against the Wellington Crusaders in Wellington last week. Spartans losing by 17 in that game, 36 to 39. Only the second time the Collegiate boys have ever lost to Wellington in their history, as they come to a hopefully much less prolific opponent in the El Dorado Wildcats. We see the boys warming up with about 10:55 left in pregame warm-ups. Bit of a recap. Sorry we couldn't get the girls' game to you, ladies and gentlemen. We were trying to get through traffic, and we were unfortunately a little bit off time. So here we are yet again. I'm Ben Shackelford. And just to recap, the Collegiate girls took a strong 61 to 38 win against the girls of El Dorado, in the second time beating this El Dorado squad this season. Spartans yet again rebounding and recovering after a big loss to Wellington on Friday, but showing more fight this year than ever in recent memory, as the Spartans already have more than double the amount of wins they had last year, with, well, the Spartan girls, that is, with about 2 games left in the year. They will try and capitalize on 2 games left. Big storyline here for Coach Heath's team. And now back to the Spartan boys. You see them warming up. No Jack Grace on the floor for the Spartans, as wonder where he's at in this point. At this point in the season. Some notable players out for the Spartans in this game. Spartans, junior Sebastian Hines Turner, that big 6'4" forward, is out this game and has been out for a long portion of the year with an Achilles injury, so hope to see him get back on his feet soon, ready for next season. And also missing from that Wellington game was number 15, Carter Drumright, that spectacular shooter, who's also a great ball handler and creator for the Spartan offense, senior leader as well. And they really missed him in that brutal loss against Wellington. And no Jack Grace, the 5'10" senior, as don't really have much word on where he's at. Hopefully get some information on that matter later in the broadcast, and we will go back to the Spartan warm-ups right now. I assume Kamari Jennings will be starting for the Spartans, the sophomore, in place of Jack Grace, as it'll be only one senior on the floor, that being the big man in the middle, 6'6", David Chege. Spartans going to be leaning on some young guys in this game as well. We look out for a lot of Maddox Drumright. Look out for a lot of Maddox Drumright, Mason Bond, and Kamari Jennings, all sophomores. And maybe see a little bit of action from the juniors, Julian Johnson and Shad Issa, both fan favorites for the Spartan fans. Hopefully we'll see them in this game. About 7:25 left in pregame warm-ups. We'll look out for some big plays from Jaden Parker, number 11. Bit of a disappointing game at Wellington, but he looks hungry and he looks ready to come back and put up a big performance against these El Dorado Wildcats. We'll be back with a bit more of a pregame show after this. Just a recap of the last week for the Spartans. They started off the week on Tuesday with a very, very dominant 70-42 win against the Buhler Crusaders. This is the boys' Spartans, by the way. The lady Spartans weren't as lucky as they fought to the end, but lost by 7 to the Lady Crusaders. A very good Lady Crusader team at that. We are very proud of our girls for fighting through that game and making it a good one. And the boys team, they beat the Crusaders 70-42 and got a nice win at home. A few key players being Jaden Parker and AJ Batiste, getting some nice offense in that game. And then on Friday, it's a game that a lot of people would like to forget. The Spartans played the Wellington Crusaders at Wellington and unfortunately took a 56-39 loss in a very underwhelming performance by the Spartans. And they're looking to rebound off of that this game. Only the second time the Spartans have lost to the Wellington Crusaders. And without further ado, that is it for pregame warm-ups. I'm Ben Shackelford.
And I'll be Dad Shackelford today.
Indeed. We will be your humble hosts for today's game. As we get underway in El Dorado High School, in El Dorado, Kansas, we are looking for a good one here, as the Spartans will look to steal one from the Wildcats. And we will pause for the national anthem. Starting lineups for the Spartans and the Wildcats coming up. For the Spartans, 6'3" junior AJ Batiste. See some mid-range shots from him in this game. And number 0 for the Wildcats, it'll be Sam Green, 6'3" senior. Number 11, Jaden Parker. He'll be looking to have a get-back game tonight after that bit of a stinker in Wellington. 6'1" junior, number 11. And number 1, it's Abram Pena, the senior, 5'8" for the Wildcats. Making his first start of the season, it's number 12, the sophomore, 5'7", Kamari Jennings. And number 2, it's Zach Jacobs, number 12. Number 2, the senior, 6'2". And the sophomore, starting in these past few games, in for Carter Drumright, it's number 20, Mason Bond, the sophomore. And for the Wildcats, it's number 13, Tanner Riddle, 12th grader, 6'1". And the Spartans, the big man in the middle, number 33, David Chege. He will have to have another bounce-back game here. And number 14, Peyton Wright, the sophomore for for El Dorado, 5'11". Spartans, size has been an issue for the Spartans in this season, really having to utilize a lot of perimeter action instead of really driving and getting into the paint with these huge matchups like we saw against Wellington. Spartans definitely had a size disadvantage, and Wellington took advantage of that and just used it to get easy buckets in the paint. And Spartans will look to utilize their skill in this game as the tip goes to the Spartans, and
Kamari Jennings with the rebound and putback off the A.J. Batiste miss.
Yeah, we saw a lot of misses from A.J. Batiste in that game, but he'll be looking to get his get back as well in this one. And Mason Bond.
Turnover Wildcats.
And a Mason Bond trip to the free throw line is underway.
It's really important for Spartans to get a quick start tonight on defense. Really apply the pressure and get a couple of turnovers, get a little momentum going.
And already a steal for David Chege leads to 2 free throws at the line for Mason Bond. Spartans were heavily disappointing from the line in that game against Wellington, shooting only 31% from the line. And of course, every game is an opportunity to get better on that. It's right up ahead, tries to go for a nice up and under. That's off, no good, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2 of his own. Peyton Wright, the sophomore, getting some action from the baseline early on. The Wildcats with 7:20 left in the first quarter. It's 4-0 Spartans. Handling that collegiate press well. And you see it a lot with a lot of teams with a lot of high school teams that don't have great ball handlers. They can't really handle a collegiate press. It's a 3-ball for Mason Bond after those 2 makes by Peyton Wright, and a nice tip in off the miss by Jaden Parker. Scrappy getting to the rebound. And a rainbow 3 drops in by Sam Green, senior leader for this El Dorado team. Might see some buckets from him in this game. It's 6-5 Spartans. And Kamari Jennings takes a deep 3, but that's off, no good. Trying to push in tempo is Sam Green. He takes a spin move in the paint, looking for an option. Gets it out to Pena. Now it's number 13. Looks like that's Riddle. Now it's Wright. Sam Green takes a mid-range. Blocked by David Chege. Nice rejection that time by the senior. And Wright getting a lot of opportunities. The Spartans really trying to secure those defensive rebounds.
Finally a tie-up by Mason Bond after about 3 opportunities, or 4, that the Wildcats really crash in the glass, making it tough on the Spartans to collect the defensive rebound.
And crashing the glass has been an issue for the Spartans in these past few games, as, like we said, that they do give up some size in those talented lineups. And that was a prime example there. 2 or 3 offensive rebounds for the Spartans. And nice hustle there by Kamari Jennings.
Another tie-up, possession alternating.
Fighting through the screen to tie the ball up and send it back the way of the Spartans. It's Spartans ball yet again, 6-5. Spartans lead with 6:04 left in a 1 quarter. Jaden Parker, we've seen a lot of drives from him. A lot of them successful.
El Dorado sitting back in his zone again, daring the Spartans to shoot from distance.
And a bad pass in the paint leads to a turnover. And a turnover back to the Spartans in transition yet again. Jaden Parker, spin move in the paint. Little hook shots up and good for JP. Ball's inbound to Pena. They'll try to evade the trap. Nice handle by Abraham Pena.
Tries to whip it down to the baseline.
Yeah.
Too much to handle.
Off the official that time.
Spartan ball.
Yeah, looks like he was shooting zebras that time. It's Carson Malaise and Maddox Drumright in the game, as well as Logan Clay, the sophomore, is getting some good representation in this first quarter. In the paint, it's Drumright, gets it out to Jennings for three. Top of the key, that's off, no good. Spartans haven't really been the best shooting in these past few games, but when they've taken advantage of opportunities, they are dangerous. And a wobbly pass by Benya, and a pure three by Sam Green in the wing. That's some good coverage there by the Spartans, but Sam Green says, I'll do it myself. Batiste with it. He's looking for an option, gets it to Drumright in the paint. Drumright, not really the best driver, but he can make some threes, definitely, just like his brother Carter.
Attempts one there out of the corner, missed. Transition.
Green.
Green takes it to the rack.
And Green, a strong finish on the other end. It's 10-8 in favor of the Wildcats, and the Spartans are scrambling a bit, trying to handle this scrappy El Dorado team on the road.
A lot of good action against the zone, high-low, hit the high post, then swing the ball, dump it down low. They're getting good action. Just shots just aren't falling just yet.
And it is an all-sophomore lineup with number 14, Landon Langston, coming into the game. Landon Langston, personally my JV QB on me being an O-lineman. And a turnover that time. Why trying to take it the other way? And a charge taken by Mason Bond. He really got in the lane that time to snuff out that play by Wright, number 14. Peyton Wright really being aggressive in this first quarter, and the Spartans are using that aggressiveness to their advantage.
Good recovery by Bond. Got in position, took the charge. That's the way it's done.
Yes, it's a 10-8 lead by the Wildcats. And this all young guy lineup is trying to hold off this zone by the Wildcats. It's a air ball three by Mason Bond that time. Going down the lane is Green. Tried to dump it to Jace Peffley, the sophomore, but it's off his hands, out of bounds, going the way of Collegiate.
Getting good ball movement on offense. Just simply cannot buy a three-pointer at the moment. Need to keep trying to get it maybe a little bit closer. Maybe dribble drive, dump it off to as the defense collapses.
It's nice to see Coach Fiegel have such faith in these sophomores as he does. Me personally, I was on that 2023-24 collegiate freshman team that went undefeated in the season. It's Carson Malaise trying to take it himself. And a travel in the lane. And Coach Fiegel goes back to putting some experience in the game. He goes back to his
all the starters
starting lineup back in the game, as Carson Malaise looks like he had an opportunity to maybe pivot out of a trap in the paint, but it's just too much then. Inbounds. Numbers down the way for the Wildcats. They get it back out in transition. Now they settle in the half court looking for an option. Balls to number 10. That's Peffley. Now to number 5. That's Scheffler, number 11. Or pardon, the 11th grader. Green tries to feed in the paint. And good hustle by Kamari Jennings. Getting the ball on the ground and getting his body up to go get it. And a foul taken by Jaden Parker, trying to get another drive to the rim.
Good push by Kamari up to Jaden, and aggressive take toward the basket. Earns 2 free throws.
Indeed, Jaden Parker at the line, shooting 2. And more free throw misses by Jaden Parker. A lot like we saw against Wellington last week, but
it's just confidence at this point. Just needs to see it go through the basket. There we go. One of 2 on that trip.
1 of 2. A pure 1 drops for Jaden Parker. And it's back to a 1-point lead for El Dorado. Spartans have gotten to a few slow starts in this season.
Tipped by Jennings.
AJ takes it in transition all the way for a nice little underhand scoop, just like at the ice cream store. Dorado tries to push. They settle in the half court looking for some offense here. Number 10, that's Heffley tries to push on Jennings. Now it's Pena with it. Guarded by AJ. Now it's Bond guarding Green. Heffley back to Pena. Number 2, Jacobs. Poked away, almost lose it. Jennings gets it off the floor off of the miscue. And he takes it in for a nice 2. It's like just like we saw at Arc City. Really getting some offense there from Kamari Jennings. Bringing a lot of that skill from Arc City all the way over to Collegiate.
Checking in for Spartans, number 21.
13-10, Spartans regain the lead with 1:39 left in this first quarter. As a pretty defensive performance. As a pretty good defensive performance here early by the Spartans. Pena
travels.
Tried to lower shoulder into Maddox Drumright on the drive, but travel on the play. Spartans have it back. Jaden Parker trying to work on the zone. Saw a lot of zone from Wellington in that last game, but now we see a drive by AJ. Snatched away in the paint by Zach Jacobs. Pushing it ahead is number 10, Heffley loses it. Kamari gets it. Jaden up ahead. He's looking to feed the nice no-look pass in the corner to AJ, but then he recovers off the miss to put it back up and in.
Jaden Parker with the tip in.
Need 15-10, the Spartans. They're having a nice time so far. Let's see if they can keep it up in 3 quarters of basketball. And another offensive rebound that's snatched away by El Dorado. The Spartans recover off the miss there by, looks like that was number 5, Scheffler. And rebounds are a very pressing issue for this Collegiate team. Chege in the paint. No. Pass it out to Maddox. No good. Over the top. The Wildcats trying to drive. Lose it underneath. Recovered by number 5, Scheffler. A tip out of bounds, going the way of the tip out of bounds, staying with the Wildcats. Some nice defensive hands here from the Spartans early, especially from Kamari Jennings. He's bringing that defensive intensity that Coach Fiegel really likes to see out of his players. And a charge already in this first quarter. Number 3 trying to drive. And gets a nice one on David Chege. Chege not really being able to use those long arms there. And Kamari Jennings can't get a shot off. Didn't really see the clock there, and that's the quarter, 15-12. The Spartans only leading by 3 in this first quarter. Looks like the Wildcats came to play here. Just like in these past weeks, we've seen a lot of teams really handle this Spartan press, and
Wildcats have not been able to capitalize tonight on the deep ball. The Spartans are getting back. The transition defense is much improved from the other night, but and definitely in the forcing them into the half-court offense and putting the clamps on them. Next step will be secure the rebound upon the shot.
Indeed, the Wildcats have had opportunities with getting all those offensive rebounds. And like we said, the defensive glass has been a point of concern for the Spartans here in these late games. Spartans trying to capitalize on this. Trying to capitalize on an easy win here at El Dorado. 15-12 with 8 minutes left in 1 quarter of basketball. into the second half. It's Pena with it, getting it out of bounds. Trying to get an offense going for El Dorado. Feeding the paint, it's number 3. Back out, number 13. That looks like Tanner Riddle with a rainbow. And that's pure for Tanner Riddle. 3-pointer that time. Jennings with it, all tied up. Trying to feed A.J. Batiste. Nice lob and layup for A.J. Batiste.
Nice back screen set play.
A.J. Batiste gambles on the gambled on the inbounds pass that time, and he pays for it as Mason Bond gets called for a foul in transition.
It's his second. Both of them kind of cheap, but he'll sit with 2 fouls. Landon Langston in for him.
Yeah, and Pena handling. He'll try and work. Now back to number 3, Lechenberg. Now number 14, right. Sam Green, the senior leader, trying to get it in the corner. That's number 14. Air ball by Lechenberger. And going the other way, back to the Spartans. 17-15, 7:07 left in this second quarter. Spartans, Collegiate has given up some perimeter opportunities back to the Wildcats, and if the Wildcats really capitalize, they could have much better control over this game. Logan Clay, nice little hook shot in the paint. A nice fundamental post move by the fundamental post player himself.
Little high-low action.
And a layup and a lay-in on the other end is no good by, looks like, number 14, right, and A.J. Batiste. And A.J. just takes it and goes with it on the rebound by Carter.
Swarming Spartan defense,
yes,
leading to runouts.
Swarming like bees. It's A.J. Batiste trying to work in the paint. No good that time. Nice baseline drive. Try to get a floater there. Ball is up ahead, way up ahead to number 13. Tanner Riddle out of his hands that time. Timeout on the floor. Spartans are taking control back on this game. 21-15 with 6:11 left in this second quarter. What have we liked so far from Collegiate here, Dad?
Said it a time or two. Their transition defense is much improved. No easy runouts so far. El Dorado is trying to push the deep ball a little bit, but Spartans are recovering, slowing them down and making them work in the half court. Causing a bunch of turnovers as well. Again, just really need to crash the glass, box out, secure the rebounds.
Spartans are doing a good job of really pressuring the ball and trying to force turnovers, but sometimes they're gambling with house money, and that does not go well over in Coach Fiegel's world. I remember he used that once in practice. The idea of you're gambling with house money as when you gamble on an inbounds, and it really stuck with me. As being part of Coach Fiegel's program, he always preaches discipline defensively and just being strong defensively. And the sophomore, Landon Langston, rattles in a 3 from the wing that time. Pena trying to take it all the way. And right, almost got it to the rim, but good pressure there by the Spartans underneath. And it's back the other way. Jaden with it. Trying to shake off. Right. Pull up midi by Kamari Jennings is through. Nice little dribble drive action by the Spartans. And good hands yet again on the inbounds by Maddox Drumright, tapping that one away. Number 14, that's Peyton Wright. Seen a lot from Peyton Wright in this game. Sophomore getting some action here. In fact, a lot of sophomore action. 3 sophomores on the floor for the Spartans. And the travel that time, Landon Langston almost trying to steal the ball away, gets on the floor and
sends it into the backcourt.
Yes, going
Over and back.
Going back to the Wildcats. Pena with it. Spartans send a double. They're looking to really pressure the ball this time. Now it's Riddle. And a DB play by Landon Langston keeps the ball from touching number 2, Zach Jacobs. It's out of bounds in favor of the Wildcats. Sam Green looking to work on Parker. Stops, gets it out to Jacobs, number 2. He's looking to drive. Now it's Riddle. Pena with it on the wing. Searches, pops. Gets it to Lucero, number 11. Pena, he'll take a 3. Almost another offensive rebound for the Wildcats, and Kamari Jennings dribbles out of some traffic there, crosses half court.
Nice box out effort by Kamari.
Seen a lot of hustle from Kamari Jennings in this game and in these past few games. And David Chege, a nice
Beautiful.
floater. Nice little teardrop by David Chege, getting in the paint and putting it up for a little float shot. That's what you want to see out of the big man. And David Chege
In the passing lane.
in the
Nice.
passing lane yet again, getting it out. And Jaden Parker almost gets another floater, but rims out. Back to the Wildcats.
Number 13, Tanner Riddle.
And down the lane, it's Tanner Riddle with a nice layup on the other end. 28-17, 3:54 left in this half for the Spartans and Wildcats. The Spartans would have hoped to score a little bit more points in this quarter. And a double dribble by Maddox Drumright. Didn't really look
3
like
3 seconds.
3 seconds in the lane there by the Spartans. You know, just one of those things that you wouldn't really notice because you're so focused on the ball handler. That's the thing about great offense. You're so focused on the ball handler that you don't realize the action that's happening beneath the rim and beneath the three-point line. You see a lot of that from the Spartans as it's a trap. Riddle trying to get it out. Green almost taking it in for a nice layup, but it's off the mark.
Aiden Parker with the board.
Yeah, he usually makes those. And now it's Carson Malaise. Swatted away by Lucero. Now it's Malaise. Back to Parker. Trying to get out of there.
Tries to dump it down to Logan Clay in the middle, and he's fouled going up. On the floor. Not a shooting foul.
Foul on the floor, out of bounds. Jaden Parker trying to get the Spartan offense going here as El Dorado has given the Spartans some problems here. Another 3 by Landon Langston is through. The JV QB gets it in the net a little bit more. 6 points already for Landon Langston.
Landon feeling it from 3.
Now Lucero, number 5. Scheffler with it, trying to work on Clay. Gets it to number 10, Peffley. He's trying to work on AJ. Zach Jacobs has Sam Green take a 3. And that's pure for Sam Green. 11-point lead for the Spartans, 31-20. 2:36 left in the second quarter. And Logan Clay, power dribble, puts it up. Down the way for Logan Clay. 33-20. Travel by the Wildcats. We see some great defensive pressure here in this game by the Spartans. Spartans will have it out of bounds on the sideline. Parker with it. Seen some great things from the sophomores here in this game. But it's the junior, Jaden Parker, with it. Trying to work through a double. Gets it out to AJ Batiste. He takes a pull-up 3 from the mid-range. Air ball. But who's there again? Jaden to collect rebound. Hook shot up, no good. But nice getting on the floor by Carson Malaise. Getting it to AJ for a nice 2 underneath. Spartans pressure, giving themselves more opportunities. 35-22 after that transition bucket by, looks like that was number 10, Jace Peffley. And AJ again. Frantic offense here by both teams, trying to get in transition. 37-22, the Spartans leading by 15 with 1 minute and a half left to go. Nice feed to Logan Clay underneath. He's had a nice quarter so far. 123, 37-22. Two-shot foul for Logan, and you really see why that Spartan freshman team was so good from last year, as a lot of RC players were on this team. Logan at the line, missed the first one, but rattles in the second one. Logan Clay. 38-22. 123 left in this half. As the Spartans have put on a nice performance so far, but you would have expected more from an opponent, from facing an opponent like El Dorado. Ball's inbounded to Pena, trying to work on Drumright. Stops, just crosses half court. And it's frantic passes around. Now it's Peffley with it. Now to Pena. He's trying to work on the perimeter. Scheffler dumps it off to Pena in the wing. He's looking to drive yet again, and a foul underneath. Not too many fouls here by the Spartans early in the game. Pretty clean performance by both teams so far. With a minute left in this quarter, Spartans will look to get a lot more out of this. And a nice block underneath by David Chege. Screwing up that shot there by Zach Jacobs, and Jaden Parker will try and take it. Well, no, feed it to Maddox Drumright underneath.
Tipped out of bounds by the Wildcats.
Tipped out of bounds. Looked like a bit of a block that time by a myriad of Wildcats, and Spartans will have it out of bounds. Maddox Drumright just walked into a little bit of a bad situation there. And a wraparound foul by Jaden Parker. Those are new. That's a new rule in high school basketball, I assume. The new wraparound call. As Jaden is called for that one, as he tries to put his little spin move on his defender and go up for that one. 38-22 with 40.2 left in one quarter of basketball, leading going into halftime. A trap by the Spartans. Scheffler throws it off of Kamari Jennings, and 26 seconds on the shot clock with 30.5 on the game clock. The Wildcats really are trying to put some work on this collegiate lead in the going into half. It's a fake three. Trying to get to the rim is number 3.
At the basket,
Will Lechenberg, and he takes that one strong to the body of
fouls on number 14,
Landon Langston. Trying to play some good defense on top of his good offense, but a bit too strong that time was Will Lechenberg, and he will go to the line to shoot one. Oh, rattles in, 38-25. 16 seconds left. Spartans shot clock off, trying to make something work here. As the clock rolls into single digits, it's Langston with it. Jennings, 6 seconds to make something work. And a double dribble by Landon Langston, trying to get a little greedy there, but ref's not having it that time in 1.2 seconds. Coach Fiegel might not be super pleased. Coach Fiegel might not be super pleased with his boys going into halftime, as well, they are up 13. It's not a pretty 13. 38-25. The Spartans lead by 13 going into the half. We'll be back after this halftime. And back on the mic we are with the second half, coming to you live from El Dorado, Kansas. 38-25, the Spartans, a 13-point lead. But the question remains, is it good enough for Coach Fiegel? It's Kamari with it. Now in the corner, back to Mason. In the paint, it's Chege trying to body up. Puts a little hook shot up, no good, but a strong rebound underneath by A.J. Batiste. No good that time. Great rebounding by the Spartans. Bobbling around. Jaden recovers. Gets to Kamari in the paint for a nice two. Little slingshot pass there by Jaden Parker to Kamari in the paint.
Fantastic effort by all the Spartans on the offensive glass. Bad news is a whole bunch of bunnies didn't fall right there, and Kamari ends up with it. 2, looking for 3.
And Kamari at the line after the end one. And he rattles that one in, 41-25. The Spartans come out flying in the first quarter of the second half. Now it's right with it, trying to get in the paint. Rejected that time with an exclamation point by David Chege. And a foul on David Chege that time, trying to take away a sideline pass, and he's called for the foul that time.
I think he just stepped out of bounds, actually.
Oh, he did indeed step out of bounds. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. It's Green with it. Now to Jacobs. Wright has it, trying to drive on Bond. Crosses over. Backs away into the corner. Hesitates. And a lazy pass is taken away by Kamari Jennings. He's trying to take it into the lane. And a nice tip in by Jaden Parker. Adds 2 more, 43-25. The Spartans lead with 6:50 left in the quarter. So far, the Spartans have come out hot. And it's to Jacobs. Now to Green. We've seen him make a couple threes. He'll take a floater this time. Off the glass, it's good. Smooth play by Sam Green that time, number 0. The Spartans have had a hard time guarding him in this game. Jennings, now to Parker. Now to Batiste, looking in the paint. Doesn't like it. Takes it back out. Now it's Chege in the paint. He's looking for an option. Gets it to Kamari. He takes a pull-up 3. That's up. No good. Foul on the floor.
Good skip pass by David across to Kamari on the wing. Out of the high post. Perfect action against the zone.
Second foul on Zach Jacobs. And Maddox Drumright and Logan Clay will go in. And it's a 3-ball. Off the way, no good. Taken away off the glass by Green. And a little hesitation pump. A little hesitation clutch. Layup is good by Wright. He's trying to get in the paint. And in the paint yet again is Jaden Parker. But he travels that time, going back to the Wildcats. 14-point lead, 43-29 with 5:53 left in the third quarter. Some turnovers for the Spartans that they will look back on and not really like against not the best competition they played, but certainly competition. It's a pass underneath into the paint. Good vision by Green. Gets it back out. That's number 14. Right. Ball was originally in the hands of Jacobs, but it's snatched off by A.J. Batiste. He's trying to take it all the way. Stops, pops, gets it to Landon Langston for 3. No good that time. Gets his own rebound. And fouled, bumping bodies there with number 14, Wright. And
number 14 on number 14 crime there.
Indeed. I think it might be sophomore on sophomore as well, yeah. It is sophomore on sophomore. The Spartans go to a younger lineup with 4 sophomores and A.J. Batiste. Spartans trying to feed the paint. Get it in Clay. Now back out to Malaise. He's looking to get it back out. And a nice floater for Maddox Drumright off the drive. Got Jacobs in the air and just took it in for an easy 2. Maddox Drumright, usually a quality baseball and tennis player. But he can play he can hoop as well. And a foul underneath that time on Landon Langston. That's a second personal. It's Green at the line. He'll be shooting a pair. Spartans have had a tough time containing Green in this game. He's a lanky shooter, and he can make some shots.
Yeah, he's got a smooth game. He's very methodical. He doesn't get in a hurry. He's knows what he's doing. Just takes his time.
The Wildcats losing their best player after last year, Logan Gardner, who was league MVP of that year as well. Had an opportunity to announce for the Wichita Collegiate home baseball games, and was able to meet with him about his winning the AVCTL Division IV MVP that year, which was just a congratulations, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Logan's a tough player, super smart, fantastic shooter, great all-around game.
Fun fact, my brother James Shackelford was actually guarded up on him in those two matchups his senior year. So he will so that was a good matchup for him. And also shout out James Shackelford. It's an all-sophomore lineup again for the Spartans. Langston, Clay, Drumright, Bond, and Malaise. Looking, it's Malaise in the corner, gets it to Drumright. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Bond trying to drive, puts up a tough little floater in the paint. It's good. 47-31 with 4:30 left in the quarter. Pena trying to dribble out of a double team. And a foul that time by Bond. Looks like that's the third foul on Landon Langston. Spartans don't want to have him out. He's had some good buckets this game. Wildcats trying to get it in. They get it into Pena. Spartans try and send a double. Regrouping that time. Tapping it away are the Spartans. Getting in on the floor is Mason Bond. The Spartan fans not happy with that one. They thought that was off of number 10, Jace Peffley, and it's another possession for the Wildcats. Green guarded by Malaise. Good defender Malaise is. Out to Jacobs from Pena. Now it's Green. He takes a deep three off the rim that time. No good. And it's going the way of the Spartans yet again. Off the right side of the hoop, and Sam Green can usually make those, but off the mark at that time.
That one was out of ways. Spartans are finding some success driving the ball to the paint and dishing and getting or defense lays off and they able to put it up. Turnover in the lane, and the Spartans get it right back.
Yeah, it looks like
kicked out of bounds by number 10, Peffley.
Peffley dribbled it off his foot that time, and a few self-inflicted errors have led to this predicament for the Wildcats. Down 16, 47-31 with 3:44 left in the third quarter. The Spartans have control, and they are using it. Almost looked like a bit of a travel there for Mason Bond. Guarded tightly by the Wildcats. And a foul by the Cats.
A little too tightly.
And Peffley's called for that one, his first foul of the game. 47-31 with 3:33 left in this matchup. Left in the third quarter of this matchup. And Spartans will have it out of bounds. Coach Fiegel staying with that all-sophomore lineup that we've seen time and again. And a three-pointer is through the iron by Maddox Drumright. Saw some good threes from him against Bueller on Tuesday, and that's a three by him right now. And nice defense by Mason Bond on the other end, poking that one away from Green. And nice on Malaise getting the rebound underneath, but the floater's off that time for Drumright, who tried to put it back. Now it's number 5. That's Scheffler up the lane. And a push-off by Scheffler going the way of the Spartans.
I think he stepped out of bounds.
Sorry, folks. Bad vision on my part. Stepped out of bounds that time.
We're a long ways away from the court.
Indeed, we are. High up
That was
here
on the far side.
High up here in the Wildcat Roundhouse. And a lovely roundhouse it is, indeed. Spartans go back to some more experience. And it's a nice bucket by Chege. Staying with it are number 12, Kamari Jennings, number 11, Jaden Parker, trying to pressure the ball handler. That was number 5, Scheffler. Getting rejected by David Chege, but a foul on Chege that time. Won't get props for that block. And on the line to shoot a pair, it's Scheffler. First one's off the chin of the rim, and he'll get another opportunity. That one rattles off no good, taken off the glass by Chege. And Jaden with it, trying to drive the lane on Pena. Strong drive to the basket, but a little too much mustard on it that time. And it's off the mark, no good. Now Scheffler trying to save it from going out of bounds. He's trapped on the baseline, getting it to number 5. Or pardon, that was number 10. Peffley and Scheffler back to Pena. Number 3, Lechenberg. Back to Green. Spartans swarming everywhere. 12 seconds on the shot clock. The Wildcats will have to go here. Pena with it on the top of the key. He gets it to number 10. That's Peffley.
Batiste climbs the ladder, takes it all the way to the basket, coast to coast.
Coast to coast, like he's going from LA to Tokyo, across the Pacific Ocean. And it's a 23-point lead for the Spartans. Jump ball that time. AJ thought he had a nice takeaway, 54 to 31, 131 left in the third quarter. And the Cats retain possession yet again, and we've seen some good ball pressure by the Spartans. A lot of ball pressure that we didn't see against Wellington. And if there was ball pressure, they did a good job. The Crusaders did a good job of keeping it with themselves. Nice hands by Maddox Drumright, poking the ball away, but it stays with number 5, Scheffler. Stops his dribble. And a travel on Zach Jacobs, trying to body his way to a bucket on Logan Clay, but didn't get it that time.
Too many steps.
Yep, 54 to 31 with 1:09 left in this third quarter. Corner 3, off the way, no good by Kamari Jennings. Almost recovering was Jaden Parker. And recovering was A.J. Batiste. Back to Jaden for a nice 2.
Kamari's shot's a little flat tonight. Everything's a little bit short.
And Jaden Parker looking like a DB out there, getting that ball away. Gets it to A.J. for a nice layup yet again, 58 to 31.
Good
Spartans
look.
lead by
Good.
27.
Good look from Parker. Wide open A.J. Batiste.
And A.J. has another takeaway yet again. He could go with a pass to Kamari. Underneath for another 2. Spartans take it up to a 29-point lead.
Good ball movement, finding the open guy.
Not gambling too much either. It's Peffley with the ball. Now to Jacobs on the top of the key. Scheffler almost loses it, trying to work on Jennings. Would he pass it up to Peffley? 5 seconds on the shot. 5 seconds on the game clock. Peffley will have to work. He pulls up, long 2. Off the back iron, no good, and Spartans putting the reins on this game a little bit more, 60 to 31. With zeros on the clock in the third quarter. We'll be back to you with a fourth right after this. And it's one more quarter of basketball for the Spartans as Collegiate leads 60-31.
Loads of effort in that third quarter led to 6 or 8 turnovers, lots of baskets. Speaking of turnovers, Mason takes it down the lane, turns it over.
Tried to get it to David that time. And another rainbow lefty 3 by Sam Green that time. Open in transition, and he decided to shoot his shot. 60-34, Carson with it. Tries to take it to the lane. Good offensive rebound by David Chege. And a nice pass underneath that is rejected by Sam Green. Just absolutely swatting that like a bug away from A.J. Batiste. And recovering are the Wildcats. Now it's a pass underneath to Jacobs. Now right, he'll take a shot. No good. But another offensive rebound by the Cats. It's finally snatched off the glass by A.J. Batiste. Trying to pass it up to Mason, but he recovers that one. A little bit of a bobble. Didn't really see that one coming up to him.
Good defensive tip by Chege out to AJ on that rebound.
60-34.
Great backdoor cut. Nice feed down the lane. Foul.
Indeed, 60-34 with 6:48 left in the game. And another foul on the Wildcats. That's Riddle.
David Chege gets 2 shots.
Chege saw a little bit from him at the line last game. But the first one rattles off the front of the rim, no good. Just touching the nose of the rim that time and bounces off. Second shot for David Chege. Free throws have been a point of concern in these past few games, especially a point of concern in the game against Wellington. And that one's off the rim, no good yet again. 60-34, the Spartans still have a lead. And it's Green with it. Hop step in the lane, gets it out. Lucero drops in a 3 of his own. And the Spartans see their lead dwindle yet again to 23. It's AJ with it, trying to work on Lucero. Gets him on his knees. No jump on the jumper that time for AJ Batiste. And working the moves on Lucero. And he splashes one in front of the Spartans yet again. Mason Bond getting a strong bucket in the paint. Mid-range J off the glass for Mason Bond. And the Spartans and Wildcats are just trading buckets back and forth. And a DB play. Taking that one away was Carson Malaise. Getting him on the baseline. And a 3-pointer by A.J. Batiste is off the side of the rim, no good in the corner.
Didn't have his feet set. Wasn't ready to shoot that ball.
Just trying to get his get back in transition. And lazy on the rebound by the Spartans. And Lucero drains another one. And the Spartans' lead is only by 21 now. 5:30 left in the game.
Flurry of threes going down. Wildcats finding the range here early in the fourth.
Indeed, a little bit of that defensive-minded spirit of both teams has left their bodies. Indeed, as it is all offense here in this fourth quarter, 64-43. The Spartans and the Wildcats going at it here. Late in the fourth quarter, the Wildcats trying to make a run. As Lucero makes a few nice threes. And the Spartans are always trying to get their get back. Drum right with it out of bounds. Wildcats go to a press this time as it's Langston with it, guarded tightly by Riddle, number 13. Jaden trying to dribble out of Riddle's defense, and a nice layup on the other end rattles in for Jaden Parker. 66-43 with 5:10 left in this game. It's right with it, trying to set up the offense. Now Green He'll look to work on drum right, but then pass it to Lucero. Guarded by Kamari Jennings. Now Riddle. Green, 16 on the shot clock. Almost looked like a bit of a travel that time. Took him many steps on the hop. But it's an offensive rebound back to the Wildcats. And then a travel that time on the Cats, and it's Spartan basketball.
Zach Jacobs with the steps.
Checking in for the Wildcats, number 1, Abe Pena. And for the Spartans, number 3, AJ Batiste. Also number 20, Mason Bond.
Spartans, no seniors on the floor this time for much of the game, as it's Parker, Bond, Langston, Clay, and Batiste. 4:36 left in this game. 66-43. The Spartans have a 23-point lead and will look to close this one out pretty easily. Jaden gets stripped. Kicks it back out. That's a nice pull-up midi yet again by Landon Langston. The sophomores are having themselves a night here in El Dorado. It's Lucero with the ball. Spartans lay off a little bit on the press. And Green with it. We have a few El Dorado players bumping into each other as they're trying to set up their offense. Zach Jacobs looking for an option. Gets it out to Lucero. He takes a three of his own. That would have sent the crowd going wild. That would have been his third three. As Jaden Parker takes a three of his own. Off the mark, no good. That's on the floor underneath.
Logan Clay got shoved from behind.
Fouls on El Dorado's number 2.
That's the second foul, or pardon, that's the third foul on Zach Jacobs.
Second team foul.
He just sort of got caught underneath Logan Clay that time. And into Logan Clay it goes. Back to Jaden Parker. He was on the inbounds. But a layup is up. No good by Jaden Parker. He takes it back up and will shoot a pair.
Fouls on number 11.
Jaden is great at getting his own offensive rebounds.
Nate Lucero's first personal 13 foul.
He's had a few of them. He's padded the board stats tonight. Unfortunately, he needs to make the bunnies the first time and not have to tip and tap so many times.
That free throw rattles in for Jaden Parker. A little bit inconsistent from the line in these past few games, but
like I said earlier, it's just about confidence. Needs to see it go through.
One rattles off, no good. Saved from going out of bounds by the Cats. It's Riddle with it. Nato Lucero dribbles off his own foot. And it goes the way of the Spartans. 69-43.
Little full court press again by the Cats.
And Lucero gambles. It's Langston with a full head of steam. Gets it to Batiste. He takes a little layup in the paint yet again.
Short-armed it.
Short-armed it yet again. And it's Pena with it. Getting bumped by Jaden Parker. He'll be out of bounds on the Wildcats on the baseline. 3:20 left in this game, and it's third foul on Jaden Parker, but it probably won't matter. 69-43, 3:20.
Timeout Wildcats.
Indeed. It's had a pretty solid defensive performance here by the Spartans, as they've held this Wildcat team to 43 points, as they themselves have been a bit inconsistent on offense.
Yeah, the defensive effort's been there. Just a little bit of a lackadaisical beginning of this fourth quarter, where El Dorado's come out and knocked down a bunch of shots from deep, threatening to put themselves back in this game. Spartans offensively have been able to hold them off, getting some good shots, still crashing the offensive board, hanging in there.
And the time flies by on the timeout, and it's 69-43. Spartans lead by 26 with 3:20 left in the game. Spartans will be able to go home Spartans will be able to go home saying that they gave a good effort on this one. And
enjoy a day off from school tomorrow.
indeed, I will definitely be enjoying my day off, as I had to get up at 5:15 this morning to go run. So yeah, fun times in Wichita. Pass and bounces to Zach Jacobs. He saves it from going out of bounds. Back to Pena. Tries to dribble behind his back. Jamari Jennings takes it himself. Gets it back to AJ Batiste. Receives the trap. Carson Millay is trying to get in the lane. Shot up, no good. Great rebound underneath by Logan Clay.
Loses his out of bounds.
Out of
Wildcat ball.
Indeed, out of bounds that time. 69-43. 3:03 left in this game. Spartans, aside from a few turnovers, had played a pretty solid offensive game. Finishing at the rim a problem, but they've done a good job of capitalizing. And Lucero almost banked that one in, but it's Batiste down the lane.
AJ Batiste.
Double pumps and puts that one in. 71-43 in transition. 2:37 left in this game, and AJ Batiste showing the real DB in him and passing it to his teammate Jaden Parker for another easy two.
Some of the student fan favorites look like they're going in the game for El Dorado.
And some for the Spartans as well. Looks like the juniors, Corbin Wiley, Julian Johnson, and Shad Issa going in. 73-43. Might see a running clock here in this fourth quarter as the clock winds down on a quick timeout. As a few fan favorites for the Spartans.
Along with Wiley, Issa, Julian Johnson, Mason Bond, and Maddox Drumright stay in the game.
Indeed. It's youth on youth for both teams. 73-43, 2:25 left in the game. Number 10, Peffley with it. Guarded tightly by Corbin Wiley. Gets it to number 12. That's Bolin. And a pull-up off the rim that time. Number 5 with it. Looks like a foul that time on the Spartans, number 13. It's number 24, Julian Johnson, with a push. And number 15, Theron Mays will have it out of bounds. Clearly a fan favorite here for the Wildcats. Getting across half court is number 10, Peffley. Trying to work on Wiley. It's number 12, Bolin. Into the corner. Peffler trying to take a few too many steps and goes back to the Spartans with the running clock. 120 left in the game. The Spartans trying to cap this one off themselves, using their youth. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Might want to see a few points from the Spartans. Or we might just see more Landon Langston points, but that's off no good. Landon Langston tried for a three that time. It's a pull-up three. A nice rebound underneath by number 12, Daniel Bolin, and the crowd goes wild. Fan favorite definitely here in El Dorado as it brings the Spartan lead to 28. And Corbin Wiley takes a three. That's off, no good. Rebounded yet again by the Wildcats. Down court they go, trying to set up some offense for these young guys. And the three's off the mark, no good by number 15, Mays. Scheffler pulls up for three, and that's good for Peffley. Trying to add a little bit of a positive spark on this game, and that will be the game indeed. 73-48, the Spartans leave El Dorado with not quite the win that they hoped, but a win nonetheless.
It's a perfectly acceptable win. They cleaned up a lot of what was troubling them last game. and a very solid effort. Not a ton of mistakes. They definitely should feel pretty good about their effort here today.
Indeed, they definitely cleared up on some stuff that plagued them in the Wellington game, but they still have points of concern to work on. And with that being said, I'm Ben Shackelford.
I'm Corey Shackelford.
And enjoy your snow day here from El Dorado. And with that, we gone.